These little guys might just change everything. Why? I'm not sure yet. But I know they've already changed my outlook on what I want to do for animating, at least in the near future, and potentially beyond that. So far, with the creation of now, I believe our last one was 85 or 86. 86 characters. 86 characters. 4 more and we hit 90. Which feels better to say than 14, because it's only 4 more till 90, then 10 more till 100. I still might go the full 115 and make that the first generation of the Stone Mountain universe before we start animating some characters. But I'm still more excited after every creation than I was of the last, which is insane. And we're absolutely in the home stretch. What's up, Oranger? What's up, CalArts? What's up, Agent Smith? A Star. Aurora. I'm gonna go ahead and ping the mountain so we can get crack-a-lackin', because I'm late already. And I'm excited to have you guys. Excited to see you guys again. These little guys are changing everything. Boom. I'm trying a new playlist tonight. We'll see how we feel about it. We are currently working on Crikey Crisis. We did not get anywhere with him. I was losing a lot of steam. I felt like a lot of my creative juices had been drained from me, which is okay because we were jamming. Crikey Crisis reminds me of Spiky. Crikey, Spiky. That's what I'm thinking. That's quite the stance. That's quite the stance there. Hey, yo, what up? Razor Teeth, what's up? Crikey Crisis makes me think of Spiky. Maybe we have another Razor Teeth joining. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see what it feels like. Let's see what some spikes look like. Let's just make some spikes and go from there. See how it feels. Yellow. What's up, Crow? Are we lagging? We might be lagging. Ruh-roh. Yeah, we're lagging. See, I'm grabbing it and it's like staying there. That's not good. Ooh, that's kind of cool how I put it on this side. I don't want it on this side. I want it behind. I'm storyboarding an animation with all the avians. Yo. I love that. I think the idea of a Razor Teeth clan, so family's cool. It's like their warrior-based one, too. Yeah. I see of them as like... they're warriors... that have these like just sharp gnarly teeth, like descendants of like Sabretooth. When I was a kid, when I learned what a Sabretooth was, I was so happy because I couldn't believe that the planet just got 1,000 times better with just the idea of a Sabretooth having even existed theoretically. I was so jacked that something that even sounded as cool as a saber-toothed tiger existed. What if this guy's like the saber tooth of the group? He's got like two teeth, two massive front teeth that are like split. I like that idea. It's so funny. I was stuck here with no ideas the last time we were here for Crikey. Like nothing. I had nothing. And then I hop on, and it's like, oh, instantly, Crikey, spiky. Now, I wonder what makes this Razortooth brother special. Let's go look back at some of the other famous teethers. We've got Tofu Shop and Mr. Teeth himself. Fire. And his is more like a hedgehog. It like goes further down the body. His is a little bit thinner, but they look like missiles. Crikey Crisis is a little bit further up his back. Interesting. Surprise expression? Ooh, surprise spikes. Ooh. I'm thinking something's happening. I don't really want to give him weapon transformation. But something's happening. I don't know what's happening. But something's happening. I love just making him glowy. I love a really well-placed glow. It does so much if you can get it just right. Retractable spikes would be cool. I'm trying to think about how to apply them in the sense of like for his weapon, you know? Whatever his weapon or ability is. I'm here. As for setting this guy apart from the rest, maybe they can retract. What's his weapon? I think his weapon is going to tell us something. Does he have a tooth blade that extends and retracts? What's up, Donnie? Dude, did you stay up late all last night? Because, like, I went to bed, and then I was getting off and going to bed, and then you were like, yeah, I want to animate Raxden. And then I woke up and it was done. These spikes grow from his back. The more that grow, the stronger he becomes. He can slam back under his opponent. Yeah, got about 3 hours sleep. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Hold on. Can you fix my sleep schedule? Am I not helping? Sorry, not sorry. So the Elder has a drill. The OG lights his claws on fire. What could this guy do? What could Crikey Crisis do? Shocked, and you're immediately in crisis. Shocked and immediate emergency. That's kind of the vibe we're going through right now. That it's like these are like one of his spikes, one of his teeth from his back. But I'm trying to think, what do we do to make them unique? Let that simmer for a second. I'm gonna go turn the fan on. What did I hit? F7? Shocking power seems fun. I feel like I'm trying to stay away from electricity because I'm so biased to it. You know? It's so easy for me to add. It's such a comfort thing for me. How many times have I used it? Well, oh, that's fire. Once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I guess 11 times out of 90 isn't too bad. He's super quick. What if whenever the spike gets planted or stuck in the ground, a spike erupts from that spot? Infectious spikes? I kind of like that idea of sticking the teeth, because like in my mind these razor teeth, they grow back. They're passive as a species, as a creature, is their abilities lean on their teeth spikes, and the teeth spikes like can grow back, you know? So I almost imagine him like breaking off a spike and planting it, like jamming it into the ground or something. I'm trying to think. I'm almost imagining like you jam it in the ground and then another, like the spike comes up somewhere else. Not drill, but like you stab it here and then it shoots out of the ground here. You know what I mean? Like one of those kind of deals. I'm not sure though. So it's like ranged. You know what I mean? What's up, Skelly? I'm better now that I'm here, man. I'm better now that I'm here. I'm glad to be here with you guys. I'm close though. I don't know if that's it. I've done that kind of an idea before, and I don't know how. It's like okay. Comfy bed, watching my phone. Love that. I hope everyone's cozy. I suggested earlier that he can create spikes in the ground to give him range attacks, but also create them on his body. Huh. Like they just show up out of the ground, like they're like. What if he could break them off and toss them, and then they'll grow? Let me think. So let's say he throws this, right? And it just like sticks in the ground. And then, sorry. And then all of a sudden it's like, I don't know, like, boom. You know what I mean? Or better yet, what if, maybe more interesting, can we do something where he throws these out, and when he attacks with his blade, these interact with that attack in some way? Like maybe striking them with the blade is what makes them grow? Impacts with the blade makes them grow out or something? And so it's like strike, 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 and you see these crystals like forming throughout the battlefield. If he plants the spikes, and when they remain dormant until he attacks, and when he strikes the enemy, all the spikes in the ground auto-lock and shoot towards him. That might be too OP, but very cool. What's up, Lemonio? I want something like that. But if he's next to the spikes when striking, wouldn't that affect him too? It could, but he knows how his ability works. He could be counting on it. You know what I mean? Think of it this way. I know a gun is dangerous, and just because it's in my hand, I know what the effect can be of it, and you play around that, right? So you could think of his abilities as an extension of that. It wouldn't be a shock to him that it's going to grow, and his placement of it could have been forethought. You know what I mean? It is dangerous, but to him less unpredictable in that way, because it's something that he's used to. But at the same time, I don't know that that's the answer to it. I can see it, but I also don't. It really just adds terrain without anything crazy to it. Too close to Tofu Shop, and they can move in the defining weapon. Oh, you're right. You are super right. Yeah, they're definitely different, but also very similar. You're 100% right. Interesting. Oops, I did way too much over here. I think you're right. I think his weapon needs to be different. This is a cool looking weapon, but that's not it. Do we make him our first Gauntlets character? Teeth Gauntlet? No, that's basically his brother. Because his brother has the two claws that are like this. The OG Razor Teeth is this, basically. That's similar, though. They're not quite gauntlets, but they're similar. They're blades attached to the top. That's still kind of similar. I think he should have daggers. Of course, make them teeth, razor teeth style, though. Not normal daggers. Come on. That's boring. They got razor teeth style. This is good news. We could finally be V's. Dagger? Perhaps? Perchance? That is definitely a defining difference in silhouette. Conkeldurr? Oh. Big pillars? That might be cooler. How would he use them? Conkeldurr was cool. I think he's underrated. I'm not sure how I would use him. They wouldn't look like this. I'm thinking out. Like I'm just. Thinking. I think you're onto something though, but like the problem is like razor teeth, their objects are very spiky oriented. You know, they're basically, in my mind, there's things that are made out of teeth, like teeth bone crystals. None of that makes sense. That doesn't have to. I don't care. But that's how I see them. They have like teeth bone crystals, you know? So as a pillar, it's kind of different. What if we can emit a small amount of light from his hands and the crystals amplify it, turning into a laser? He plants them in the ground, he can ricochet them. Ricochet, you have something at Ricochet. You have something at Ricochet. I like the idea of setting up the battlefield with things. And when you said Ricochet, there is something there. We gotta get behind Ricochet somehow. What's up, Connor? Molar teeth weapon? Ricochet. This is a very striking silhouette. But how would it work? This guy's born with extra shiny bone teeth stuff. Repelled by each other, and when he throws one at another, it immediately bounces off and ricochets. Bouncy crystals? I don't know if that's gonna work for the sound effects that I have in my head. I want like shattered glass and rocks. I think the viewer would be confused by seeing something that's kind of like that, maybe bouncy, you know? I'm trying to think about how he would use the pillars as weapons. Like, he's like, his weight is on these right now. Growing teeth that has continuous growth? That might be kind of cool. There's stilts? What would he do with that height advantage? He'd probably jump off of them. Headshot, pump, crack, switch to secondary SMG and spray. That's what I would do. If he's got high ground. But I don't know if that applies in this. Like, once I got height, I'm just jumping off. Headshot, pump, crack. Switch to secondary as fast as possible. Spray. And I'm collecting loot before either of my feet touch the ground. You know what I mean? That's me, though. You know? If it were me, that's what I would do with the high ground. I don't know if for him, if it's going to do much for him, though. I see him also like leaning these pillars forward and then the teeth coming out as like attacks for him. You know, like he can lean it forward and the crystal grows out and attacks. But then his combat becomes really kind of like boring and one-sided because it's just him leaning these pillars back and forth. And then they become these like static, beastly things he has to lug around. We're so close, though, dude. He's so cool looking. Is there any other weapon ideas we could have that have like a teethy, pokey, spiky concept to them? What if we do like a trident, but it's razor teeth style? Hold on, let me cook. He's not gonna look like his brothers like this. I hate brass knuckles because it doesn't add anything. Really? Because it's just, you know what I mean? Like if you're doing stick fights combat, it looks the same fundamentally. It's just, now, you know what I mean? Now maybe you have to like imagine that it hurts more. Toothy Cage Iron Maiden style. That's really cool. Huh.
Sword.
Maybe he uses them as a bat to whack his teeth, which, when they're implanted into the surface, they have massive growth and become these massive spike stuff. I like that. It's still a little heavy. I feel like these razor teeth are like a warrior clan that is, they're not hyper fast, but they're not tanks either. They're like a fighter class. So like that to me is like almost like a tank class or like a summoner class because they're playing the battlefield. But I think we're close to the idea though. Like, I like the idea of them being planted in the battlefield and having some sort of effect with his weapon. I think that's really cool. I just don't know what it is yet. It's so easy to slap some electricity on this and call it a day. But we don't want to do that. What's a batleth? I still like the idea of him throwing his spikes and having some interaction with this trident and those spikes. I just don't know what yet. I haven't ruled out growth or some kind of effect on hit. I just don't know what it is yet, but I want to.
Swerve.
It's seriously right there. I like the trident. It's a different weapon. Because I like to see that their spikes be used as like ammo. When he throws his spikes, it can cause it to protrude from the ground. If it hits with the trident, it can cause a massive growth or some other effect. Here. Sit with this. Jot your ideas down. I do like that. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. What are the plant spikes in the ground? And whenever he aims to try and at the enemy, the spikes that are planted in grow skewer. It's almost like a wand. Let me think about this. Actually, I'm gonna get some water real quick. I'm gonna get some water real quick. I'll be right back. I'm thinking about this. I have a rough idea. What if instead of crikey crisis, it is a spiky crisis? Impacts with the scythe or with the trident cause him to grow more teeth on his back. It causes a spiky crisis. And how he deals with these is that's why he removes them. That's why he's taking them off. But they also need to do something. And that's where we're at. But I like that concept now. I want to lock that in. Later, Skelly guy. It's a spiky crisis. And it should be known why based off of what they do. Like after X amount of strikes, the spikes will do something that if they were still on his back, you'd be like, oh, yo, he can't have that on his back. That makes sense. It's a spiky crisis. Yep, this is another one of the Razor Teeth family. This is Tofu Shop, Razor Teeth. He's a tooth warrior. Spiky crisis. I'm thinking like that. What is the crisis, though? What do these teeth do? He's plucking them off. He's throwing them down. We've thought about they grow and they jab, which I'm not totally sold at. But like, I want strikes with the trident to do something to these, and that's why they're at a crisis. He has to take them off. What element is associated with the rest of the teeth? We have this guy. Is just like it's got like a holy drill. It just looks like it's vibrating with light energy. Razor Teeth has fire. This guy has literal saber teeth as like a saber tooth creature. They're like it's like in their blood. He's got flame claws. Maybe they erupt in fire? Do they just explode in fire? That might be cool. It's just so heavy, animation-wise. Well, I mean, if you got a graphic for it, it's not that bad. Do a few different fire explosions and graphic them out. That's not too bad. I mean, he really doesn't have much else that you have to worry about otherwise. I just imagine it'd be so sick to see him toss out 3 or 4 of his spikes onto the battlefield, and then this guy runs at you and he starts striking with this trident, and you just see them pulsing in the background. You know, however they're laying on the ground. You know, however they ended up stuck in the ground or whatever, different sizes and whatnot. And they're just like, there's some kind of like pulsing effect that comes out every time he lands a hit, and all of a sudden they're just like boom. And then you see more of them growing out of his back again. Fire. Fire. These are tooth crystals. Part tooth, part crystal. Think like glass and rock sound effects together. This isn't fire, it's or ice. It's like bone crystal as an element. But his other friends, his other colleagues have fire. And I'm thinking that these could explode in fire. So they're on the ground and they explode in fire after hits from the trident. And for electricity, his trident harnesses it and then connects to the spikes planted in the ground, and he can't keep them on his body for too long, he'll get zapped. I feel like I have too many electricity people though. Give it another element. What other element would you have in mind? I don't like ice as an element because it doesn't have a lot. It doesn't have a ton of properties that against an enemy other than just freezing them solid. You know. Fire is cool because fire hot, it's explosive, AOE, burns. But I don't like animating fire all the time either. The trident can emit fire, and if the spikes are bathed in fire during battle, they absorb it and combust. Huh. I don't know that I want to animate fire effects coming off the trident all the time, though. Arcane damage, like what McWizard can do? Do we introduce some kind of like psychic looking damage? Chain reaction explosions is what I'm thinking of. That's what I was thinking of originally. What does purple look like? We haven't played with purple as an effect, like, at all. Should we just see what it feels like? As just like just throw it on the screen and just see what it looks like? Give me a second. Let me see if I can get familiar with it. Give me a second. Let me mess with it a little bit. No, I don't know how to feel about it. I can't see it in my head. Green, purple, white. I can't see it. I see McWizard. I can't see myself pulling it off in a believable way. And it doesn't mean someone else won't be able to in the future, but I want to be able to animate all of these characters myself first and foremost and feel comfortable with them. So I have to see it. You know? Like, I think it's a good idea, but I don't know what it looks like. You know what I mean? And I just know if I can't see it, I will fail to execute it and not want to animate it. Which doesn't mean I'm not open to it. I just have to be able to see it. Radiation? We did something with radiation before, but the entire identity of the character was radiation, so you didn't have to like explain it. It was imposed on the weapon itself. I'm just doing stuff. Like, I see him almost like touching the ground, and then his spikes that he has on the ground just like pulsing, you know, like we talked about earlier. But I feel, is that boring and overdone? I don't know that it's getting me super excited about it. You know, I want to leave each one of these characters, as I typically do, excited about animating it. Because he's radioactive, he can disperse it into the crystals so it doesn't hurt him. If they get charged too much, they explode. That's kind of the idea we had. But, like, as far as, like, exploding the crystals, visually that would end up pretty much the same as what we were talking about before. And, like, the impacts of the blade were going to cause those other crystals to explode in fire. But we're trying to experiment with something that isn't just the basic elements we've been playing with. Can you describe to B what this guy does or doesn't have discretion yet? So we basically outlined him as such. He's a fighter, right? So he's melee. He has these teeth crystals on his back. He has a trident for a weapon. We know we want him to like take these crystals off and do something with them. Whether that's like to throw them on the ground on the battlefield, almost like mines that do something. Or when he hits things with the trident, it affects these crystals in some way. The ones that he has thrown out. The working idea was he tosses this crystal out and he grows them back. And that's why he has a crisis, is that he can grow too many on him and then slow him down. So he throws these out, and every hit he lands with the trident will cause these to pulse in some way, or they have some kind of an effect. Whether they're growing, or if they just, after a few hits from the trident, they explode. But we haven't, that's where we're stuck. Crystal's turn. Or you can have him be sound base, and he used sound to paralyze people, maybe? I'm not a huge fan of sound abilities, because it's hard to... Like, unless his whole identity is around sound, and that's more of like a flavor, you know? Because the sound, the only way you really showcase it is by people holding their ears and seeming like they're in pain from the sound, you know? It's a lot. It's hard to make it visual. I like visual things. Tuning forks. I see that. That's a cool idea, though. What if we give him a secondary item, like a bell or something, in which he can cause the thrown crystals to do something? Oh. There's an idea. Because he doesn't have any secondary... he's very light, currently. We have an object and an object, both of which can be just kind of F6'd and carried around with him. So he's still very light. But a bell, he would be making it out of teeth. But I like what you're thinking, though. I mean, I guess that's still kind of what these are for in the first place. These are secondary items that he can do something with as well. The special thing about his weapon is going to be interacting with these crystals in some way. That's the idea. We're trying to figure out what that interaction is and why. It's a long-range weapon because it's longer. It's like a glaive or a spear. So he's got more range. Still melee. But we're trying to think, you know, if he breaks off and throws these spikes out into the battlefield, and then he's hitting people with this trident, it would be cool if the spikes that are on the battlefield do something, like arc lightning to the strike, or grow over time, or, you know, ricochet, some kind of like ranged attack or something. How about this? What do you think he's missing? An element or a ranged effect of some kind. He's a fighter, so I don't need him to be super mobile, and he doesn't need a crazy big ranged attack. He's supposed to be in the mix, you know, as it were. I don't like giving fast people ranged attacks. I like giving really slow people ranged attacks. He's somewhere in the middle. So an AoE attack would be sick. An AoE effect would be sick. Something that is burst oriented, or a small ranged attack. Burst oriented, like, you know, he throws these to the ground and then they explode after a short period of time. You said you don't want to be fire or electric, though. I'm trying to stay away from it. Because I feel like it is so prevalent, especially electricity. I'm trying to get a little more creative. It's not off the table, but I feel like it's not right. I feel like the perfect idea is just off the table, just barely missing. Light effect? Light effect how? What are the crystals planted in the ground allow him to mold the earth? He can mold grows with more attacks. Like, I was thinking like the crystals would grow with attack, but crystals just growing on the playing field, growing isn't like super interesting, you know? That was my like a starting idea. I think having them just have insane growth after being planted in the ground. I mean, it could work if the growth is literally crazy. If it's literally like it sticks in the ground and it's like boom, you know what I mean? Like it's in the ground and then it's like and it like crosses the battlefield. Wait a minute, what if his trident can break the spikes? Like, he throws them out and they're like boom, they like pop off like this, right? They like go until they like hit a wall or something. And after you have a few of these things in the battlefield, it starts to get messy, right? They'll look way better than this. But the trident can smash through them. So it's a ranged attack, almost like a shrapnel grenade, a directional shrapnel grenade. Because you throw it, he throws these off of his back, they land, and then big growth in one direction. I thought of something like that, but didn't say anything. You gotta say stuff. It's so helpful. Can't other people break them? Yeah, if they're really strong. But, like, it's almost as if his weapon's designed to do it, so it's not as hard for him. You know what I mean? Glowing light from his trident to signify power. I can do that as flavor, for sure. I do like it. I think I could do it. Like, I think it would be pretty fun to animate them. What if the spikes act like an infection and spread to their body and use them to damage them? That would be kind of cool. Like spikes just start growing on their body. Where he hits the spikes and another set of spikes shoot out in the direction of the momentum that came from the strikes. We could do that. Change the weapon to crystal gauntlets. His brother has those. Kind of. They're not crystal gauntlets, but they're flame claws, but they're like one little bump here. Fundamentally, they're gonna function the same. Cancer spikes is kind of cool. It would be really cool to see like spikes growing on people as he hits them with the crystal, with the trident. It would be a spiky crisis for sure. And if they take too many hits, they just turn to pure crystal. What would that look like? Hold on. Let me see. This is like an... if this guy's fighting a boss... If this guy's fighting a boss, what would it look like? Like, it would start off with little crystals on the body. But eventually it would be like... And again, they would be more detailed than this. They would be cooler than this. And more, not just the same one looped over and over again, you know? But it would almost be something like this. And eventually it would just, like, stun them. What can you use to shake crystals aside from glass and other elements? Growth, like stalactites and stalagmites. Shattering. Spiky. Can they break off spikes themselves? Yes. It's like they have to deal with it. You know? His whole thing is he wants to be on top of you the whole time, fighting you. So you can't spend time breaking them off. Like, if you break them off, it's like you can stop the infection. But if you don't, because he's bothering you and taking up too much of your time, then you're going to end up becoming part of the battlefield. Like so. Encased in bone crystal. How sick would that be? Bone crystals. I think that's cool. That's like a cool effect. It's a spiky crisis. It's a spiky crisis. And that way we can keep him light. I don't think he needs the battlefield spikes per se with that in mind. You know what I mean? Because you're going to have to spend time animating. You're describing ice right now. True. But these are bone crystals. That's like their whole thing. That's this class is all bone crystals. So they do work similar to ice, except they're going to be spreading around like these spikes. But you're right, the properties are very similar. So his trident has an infectious bite. I like that. See, I think that's visually cool. I don't think it will work. You can spend your time animating the crystals because the character himself is pretty light. He doesn't have a secondary action or a secondary effect. He doesn't have secondary, you know, like a cape or tail or something. So animating the crystals coming on and off the people won't be too bad. Oh, if they're bone crystals, when I start with growing from the bone, so within their body, that's gnarly. That's gnarly. Can you imagine someone that's fighting and they, in the middle of the battle, they have to like break off what is to them essentially part of their bone from their bone? Crystal flashbangs? I kind of like that because it's going to make them stall. Because he kind of wants to hit you with this trident from range, get the infection started, and then, so maybe that's not a bad idea. Like little flashbangs to stun the person? That wouldn't be too hard to animate. I could have an idea on that. That also would explain why he has a glow coming from them on his back. The Razor Teeth family grows just like these guys' spikes. That's a good idea, OP. I like that. Because much like the enemies, these crystals on his back will regrow and grow. So he can freely take them off because he'll grow them back. Okay, we're down. We're down to clown. We've done it. It took us a while, but as always, it's always worth it. To me, they're not even a character until we get that last ingredient just right. And I like that. I feel like we got that there. We ended up there. That's not the one I wanted. That's the one I wanted.
No lives matter.
There we go. That's sick. I think the light base works. I think tossing in the crystals on his back being like flashbangs paired with the infectiousness, I think that works because you're just trying to cause more delay to get them from brushing off the spikes. You get hit, then you have to lose a limb or something. Sure, it's not. I don't see it like quite like that. I see them like you get hit, and maybe you see like this. You know what I mean? On the character, and they can just reach down and just punch it off, kick it off. They just have to address it in some way. You know? It gives you the opportunity to animate a scenario where maybe you have him pinned and you just see them starting to spread and they have to like break out and use their ability. You know what I mean? What is your opinion if people were to actually use these characters to duel? I mean, I don't know the duelist system in and out. Do you have to like submit your character and like have a demo before you could? You know what I mean? Like, I think when you do a duel, you have to have your own duelist confirmed in the system, and then go battle another legit duelist, right? So if your duelist battles one of these characters, let's just say, wouldn't it not count because in their system it's based off of other? Right. It's similar, but I know that their point system is based off of getting takedowns from other duelists. You have to have a demo before becoming official duelist. That's what I mean. Did their own thing with your server? I have no problem with them doing their own thing with my server. I encourage people to be using these characters, animate with them, whether it's the character I made in your honor or not. I want people to mess around with them. If they're exciting to you and they sound like fun to animate, maybe you have a duelist that you want to animate with one of these characters, I would say 100% go for it. I'm thinking it from like the standpoint of, is it going to earn you points in the dojo system if you're battling against one of the Stones Arishi universe characters? I don't think it would. I don't want to, but here's the thing though, I don't want to compete with the duelists at all. You know, I don't want it to be like you're in one system or another. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do all that. It's not like that. Okay. It is time to greet this guy's tagline. This guy took a while, but I'm so happy with him. I think he looks so sick. I want to add more to the world, and I also don't want to split the world either. I think that splitting the community up is incredibly damaging. I want to be a bubble within it. And there's a big difference between being a bubble parallel to it and a bubble within it. I see it as a bubble within it. Crikey Crisis. More like Spiky Crisis. Am I right? More like Spiky Crisis. Infectious strikes from Trident. Trident hits cause crystal growth on target. I don't need the first one. I don't even need to have the first one. Hold on. Let's shrink this down and then bring the number up. There we go. When you see these characters, do these characters get you excited? From a standpoint of wanting to animate them yourself? Is that really where that comes from? Like thinking to tie in with duelists. Is that where your thought process is on that? Trident hits cause crystal growth on target. Target must remove spreading crystals or be faced with becoming encased in them. Target must remove spreading crystals or be faced with becoming encased in them. Bat crystals can be thrown and act as flashbangs in a short light explosion. I want to see them as extras because I think that it would be more fitting imagining other heroes from My Hero Academia. I was doing some artwork with some of these characters, taking more time to design them accurate than I thought. They do take a lot more time than I think. A lot of it isn't like a lot of the time, as you guys see, that isn't spent in the actual design. It's a lot of it is just getting it right, getting it to look right and feel right. Like if I had to redraw this from scratch from here, it would not take me that long. From here, knowing what I know, the character's already locked in, it wouldn't take me that long, right? Trend hits cause crystal growth on target. Target must remove spreading crystals or be faced with becoming encased in them. Back crystals can be thrown and act as flashbangs in a short light explosion. See, Oliver knows. What's up, Oliver? But hey, at least you're not doing electricity powers. Yeah, I didn't do electricity powers this time. Yeah, he's light crystals. They're bone crystals because he's part of the razor teeth species type. But I'm down with this. This is good. This is cool and done. I'm publishing him and I'm putting him up on the mountain. And this Pokédex entry is in. We now need to decide. I need your votes. Crikey Crisis. Nep or Ultra Savior. The poll is going up. Let your voice be heard. In the meantime, I'm going to throw him up on the mountain. This guy took me over an hour. Nep is Neptune. It's Ultra Savior or Neptune. So essentially all of these characters have to choose a faction to be a part of. They're either on Team Neptune or Team Ultra Savior. Ultra Savior is like Justice and the Protector. Neptune is like the rebel who escaped. You could simplify it as good guy, bad guy. And so you need to decide, what does he seem like he's on? Which team does he seem like he's on? There's going to be a big tournament with all of these characters. A massive 1v1 tournament. And so what team they're on depends on who they're going to be up against. So based on this, does he look like he's team good guy or team bad guy? To make it simple. Ohio Skibidi? Let's see where Ohio Skibidi landed. Ohio Skibidi ended up on Ultra Savior. Ohio Ski Buddy? Ooh, it's a close one. I'm not sure I'm a fan of this playlist. It's okay. Some of the songs suck though. Really hard to tell. Yeah. Razor Teeth as a class has leaned Neptune both times. Yeah, I changed the playlist back to my usual. But he's got light crystals. Like they're emitting light. Hopefully you can even out the members. If not, using 2 people against 1 is fine. Yeah. My goal is not to make it 50-50 split with even numbers. My goal is to have the correct allegiance for each character. And then from there, if it's imbalanced, figure out how to balance it in a creative way that's more fun. You know, do a Pan Butelli Jelly Jam versus one of the, you know, whoever has more of. Have some insane duos, 2v1s. Versus someone who's running amok through the tournament or something. 50-50, huh? Wow. I think we're gonna go for a coin flip then. That's crazy. It's not gonna be on this. I have to give you the conditions first. Heads will be Ultra Savior. Tails will be Neptune. Neptune it is. We don't have very many coin flips. But we did today. Neptune gets another player. Taking us to 42. And up next is Agent Smith. But first, let's go ahead and get him into the roster. Chris. Yeah, dude, we've made some killer ones today, dude. I'm really, really stoked on what we ended up with on these other ones, too. Novamations, Exotic Garbage, Bluebot, and Yeetamin. Avian, Robot, Clown, Forest, like Nature Guy, and then another Razortooth. Look at Exotic Garbage, dude. Look at this clown. I'm really good at calling coin flips. You try to hit him with your objects or your weapons. They get stuck in him. And then he spawns a present that it's an amalgamation of all of those objects put together, including their abilities. And then he can use that weapon against you in combat. He's a heavy, a tank clown. Bowling pin, sword, stake, lassie. And then I came up with this on the fly. You see all the pieces? Bowling pin, that's the horse's face with the mouth open. The stake, the pawn stake, and the blade. And now he's going to be bringing this at you. Okay. Who is next? Agent Smith. Agent Smith. We also need to have like a renaming day too. Later, Mr. Guy. See you, buddy. I need to have like a renaming day. We go through and rename them. Could he get rid of any weapon he wants at will? What do you mean? You have to give him a black tie. Let's see what color he gets. We'll see. We'll see. He might end up not being cool at all.
On a distant planet, our galaxy, Android.
Let's see what color he gets. Another green. Interesting. Yeah, it does seem like there's a lot of green, doesn't it? Let's see. Who should we make? A robot, a cursed child, an elder, a cloud person? No, he doesn't fit cloud person. We've done clown and robot recently as well. Avian. Bug, I've tried multiple times and failed. Agent Smith, a secret agent. You can do another cashier type where they're cursed with some kind of 7 deadly sin.
Human error. Infinity.
Or what about another Rajamations character?
Our
I love this guy. The culture of like hit effects spawning things on their body. SNS Weeper? Sand Sweeper, translated to S&S Weeper, sad and silly Weeper. It's one guy, but this just shows his two forms. When he's happy, when he's silly, he throws around and juggles and spawns in more and more bowling pins. But when you beat him up and he gets sad, he turns into sad. And when he does, all of the bowling pins, wherever they are, explode. And then he has this special bat that every time he lands a hit, it spawns confetti. And those confetti explosions make him happy again. And then he goes back to being this happy-go-lucky, frolicking around, tossing and juggling. So he's like a character that has a very big burst attack, and you have to deal with it. You can't just let him stay silly forever, because if he stays silly, he's going to start piling up more and more and more and more bowling pins. And you know he's not going to stay silly forever. So your best interest is to kind of keep him going back and forth in between his forms. Otherwise, you can fill a whole room with bowling pins and be like, all right, I can't touch him now. He won't really fight you when he's in his silly form. He'll kind of just take hits. But if you beat him up, he's going to get sad. That's Sad and Silly Weeper. We haven't done a human in a while. We did cats recently. I mean, he's human. I don't think he'd be an element type. Agent Smith is basically, if I was going to make him that, I would have a brute. Agent Smith would have been Lamonio's name. He's already the agent guy in the brute world. I can't really touch aquatic. Aquatic is hard, especially if I'm green. Duck? Should we make more duck? Bro, should we make duck a category? Is duck real? Or no, because we already have avians. That might be confusing, though. Humans would be neat. The shadow fella? Humans are basically anything like Certex Quake, human. You know? They don't look like a demon or anything. Gladiator, human. Orange Hat, human. Obsessed with Sick Man's Fan, human. You know what I mean? Kaya, human. Skelly Guy, not human. He's from the underworld. And I feel like it's weird to say human because it's whatever like the native stone Mountainean population would be, I guess. If that is even a thing. I think maybe something's unique has value. Absolutely. The normal class, like the default class. Here, let me end this poll. Human. Okay. Agent Smith. I do not want to put a gun in his hands. I get bored with guns. But the first thing I do is I put him in a gun holding pose. Lol. Agent Smith. Agency. Well, yeah, what if we create a whole arc of agents and they all look like badasses, or they seem like they are? They all have like their theme is glasses. The glasses shoot lasers or something? What if the guy had the ability to duplicate himself? I was thinking the same thing. Glasses weapon? Yeah, and the cloning idea is very cool, but I feel like cloning, unless it's conditional, is done a lot. I'm not against it. Cyclops from X-Men? Maybe. I just got a really weird idea. What if they're only trying to look human? These glasses, okay, I'm dumb. Just give me a second. This is how I got there. These glasses made me think of Men in Black. Men in Black made me think of aliens. Aliens made me think of this guy not being a human. Walk with me for a second, don't get mad. What if they have this, like... Walk with me. Why would you open his head up, dog? Give me a second, let me cook. Listen to Zuko. He's the one rapping to you. This just sounds like me. Hold on, there's something about this visual I like. I don't know what it is yet, though. Like, his head opens up. It had a tiny little robot in his head. I just imagine, like, his head opens up like this. Oh my god. Oh, I'm absolutely gonna do more with it. Hold on. What if we keep going with the Men in Black inspiration? Hold on. What if those, like, those things that they use? What if he does that? To you. Hold on. I don't know. It's like, yeah, he like beams you. I don't know. Why is this not duplicating? I don't know how I'd animate this in a reliable way, though. But it's like they shoot the beam at you. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I do like the idea of something coming out, though. Like, the beam attacks is kind of cool, but I don't know how I can animate it, like, animate those beams in a real way. Shoot a beam? I don't know, beams are just too boring. That's why I don't like lasers typically, like just in a vacuum where you can just shoot a laser, because it's just like, I think of lasers almost like lightsabers from Star Wars, but like the ones that cross the entire room that'll instantly kill you. I just like this idea where it's like they're agents, right? So they appear like they're human in this example of this world, but they're not. They open their head up like this and something happens. What that is, I don't know yet. A mouth tendrils that enables him to eat anything, but once he has enough eaten, he can shoot laser beams from there? Maybe. What? Okay, can we give him a weapon first? Maybe if we give him a weapon, it helps get us a little further along the way. He looks like he's casually holding something like this, like on his shoulder, behind him. Just drawing shapes. Just drawing shapes. It's hard to get the guy with the shapes. It isn't a. It isn't a firearm for real though. A hook? I don't know. I like the hook. Rake? That's okay. First thing that comes to mind is what we're looking for. We're just drawing shapes right now. Something will feel like it works. Crowbar or shovel? What's a very agent-y weapon that isn't a gun? Wow, that's like the best shovel I've drawn in my entire life. What is happening? What the hell? A baton. Shovel's kind of cool because Agent Smith makes you think of Men in Black and they think of Cover Up. A cover up, you know, he's doing a cover up. And you need to bury the body, you know, type scenario. That's why it's a cover up. It does need seasoning. This is just the bones. Something needs to happen with that opening of the mouth that makes everything else not only make sense, but way more flavorful. Can we make the shovel matter in some way? Grave Robber of the Night? No ideas about it. Yeah, they all can help. Ideas help get us to the end. Even if it's not what we land upon, it's about the journey, and that journey gets us there. Almost all of these characters end up on something brilliant off of something stupid. I'm not opposed to a tie. It's functionally a blunt weapon with a sharp edge, which is pretty cool. I wholeheartedly agree. Like, the shovel as a weapon is not bad. It ticks the boxes, you know? I would think if we do like a tie, it's good for secondary motion. But I would like the tie to mean something. ability-wise, if possible. You know what I mean? The tongue? That would be cool, but it doesn't make sense for... Well, if it's his tongue, what's his tongue do? I want his mouth to be functional in the sense that it is like his main we haven't got to his main ability yet. His main ability is going to be why he's opening his mouth. The tie is his third hand. Okay. But I don't think third hand in a vacuum is strong enough to be like an ability by itself, but I'm here with you. Launched missiles from his mouth? That's kind of funny. The tie protects his neck, body, and face, acting sentient. It could slash and block things. I don't hate that idea. I will redesign the tie though if that's the idea. A turret face, like that one stick. Yeah, the one that like easy to stick, that like shoots stuff out of his throat. Third hand is useful when choked, 100%. But I feel like if it's gonna be something like that, it's gonna be more gnarly. You know, I'm talking like massive tentacles or something. And not just a hand. But I don't know if I want to go that route either. But I feel like it's something like this. Oh my god, what if it's way grosser than that? Okay, because right now, he's melee. 100%. We have nothing on here that says anything other than melee. What if it's totally gross? What if it's like... And I don't know if I could even pull this off. But what if it's like locusts? That are just like... a ton of these little like dots. I don't even know if I can pull it off. I just see this like gross overwhelmingness of bugs. I don't think I could pull it off though. It'd be like animating a bajillion little particles and it's a bunch of bugs. And they could like swarm you. But I don't know, like that might be a nightmare. No, it's totally random. It's totally random, but it is problematic, and that's my problem with it. It's like, it would be a nightmare to animate. That's perfect, though, because no one would expect Archie named Agent Smith to have freaky stuff like that. Exactly. I do want this. His entire thing is uncanny, but his entire identity is also this. Because shovel, normal. Tie, normal. Glasses, normal. Looks, normal. This needs to be, like, profound. Acid spit? I feel like there's something living in here. You know? Like living within. This is all a fake shell. So this thing needs to be like a monster almost, you know? Or be overwhelming. It's a monster or it's like overwhelming. Spider legs? Ew. A smaller Mr. Smith in there? That'd be funny. Doesn't do anything for us though. For shovel, have you considered giving it a T handle for the other side of the shaft? Interesting. The handle where it's like this, kinda. It's like this. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. Is that what you're talking about, though? Multi-jointed hands or appendages. That's why I went to like the tentacles, dude. That's what I was thinking. You know, like these like look at this. How gross is that? And cool. Like, come on. What if we make both ideas? That looks kind of weird. I don't want to do full articulated hands. I'm not that guy. I'm not him. Like, isn't the visual on this so cool? Like these tendrils that come out. It can grab, grapple, pull you in. I'm thinking like a virus, something like Plastic Man. I don't know. I don't think I know Plastic Man. Toma. A virus. How can I do a virus? I'm telling you though, I could animate these. I'm really good at these whippy viney things. I'm very comfortable doing these like whippy viney things. Is this not quite it though? Is this too boring? Arrow tips? Like something like this? Shovel tips? Little ones? I don't think that's worth. I think I'm more afraid of them being able to like really wrap around me. Is this not it, though? Is it too basic? Is it too boring? We're close, dude. Whatever it is, we're close. Smoke screen? I wouldn't do the if this tie is animated and is anything more than a tie, then I wouldn't do tentacle hands, because they'd essentially be the same thing. But I would also redesign the tie if it is like a tentacly hand thing. Alien multi-tool, got little different things at the ends. That can get really messy visually. This is Agent Smith. We're trying to figure out what he is. He's pretending to be human. He's got a shovel. He's got a tie. His head's open. We're trying to figure out what comes out of his head that makes him special. Is there anything we can tie into the, like, why he has a shovel? Why do you need a shovel? You dig. I don't know what he is yet. I know he's not human if his head's doing that. Yeah, he's pretending at best. He's a mimic. Essentially, yes. He's mimicking being this agent guy. I don't know that he's an octopus. I just keep going to this because I just like the visual of, like, these tentacles coming out of this space in his head. But I don't know that that's it either. I've also been tempted with, like, he pumps out this, like, sludge and it, like, pumps out of his head, but I don't like that either. Isn't Agent Smith one of the mercenaries Alan Becker's animated for animation? I have no idea, but Agent Smith is also, like, the main bad guy in The Matrix. Indestructible is really boring. Attack the eye in his mouth? I would say that if he had other offensive things, and that's one way to weaken him, but he has really not a lot going on. Right now, he's a regular stick figure with a shovel in his hands. It's everything about what's happening right here. And I really like it. I like the visual. I want it to be something. An eye in the mouth, though, would go pretty hard. Oh my god, it's a secret Gloopy. It's a Gloopy all along. It's a Gloopy trying to be human. It's a mecha shovel. It's a mecha shovel. It transforms. It's a Gloopy hiding. It's a Gloopy trying to become human. Trying to pass as human. It's a secret Gloopy. Secret Agent Gloopy. No, that's not it. Make the shovel the umbrella thing, it becomes a gun. That is funny, but I don't think that's it. A shovel gun. Guys, the first thing I said, I was like, I don't want to put a gun in his hand. So I put a shovel in his hand. And it took us like 20 minutes. Now it's a gun again anyways. It is funny though. Agent Smith, why does your shovel have a red dot scope on it? A really tiny stickman plotting. Yeah, that gave me the Men in Black vibes too. He's sitting in. He's got a little stool. Hello, I'm in here. It's something, dude. It's something. What is it? Everything returns to gun. Carcinization? Carcinization? What if him opening his head like this does something? What if... What if this is the attack? Him doing this is the attack. He's like, whoop! And he's shoop-de-whooping us. Shoop-de-whoop! Front angle. Anything he touches into a gun, he's like, please, Mom, don't hug me. I don't like sound-based abilities unless it's like the entire identity, because I just can't visualize a fun way to do sound damage. I'm gonna fire my laser. OP understands. These kids don't know shoop de whoop. These kids are too young for shoop de whoop. What if he just starts spewing out grenades? Grenade! Grenade! He just shoots a bunch of grenades out of his mouth. It'll be a nightmare to animate. Seeds? Seeds? What would the seeds do? Why the shovel though? Exactly. Maybe the seeds helps understand why we have a shovel. We don't know why he has a shovel yet. It looks cool. It felt right. Why does he have a shovel? Chemical grenades for chemical agents? Maybe. What does shovel do? Onions. Everything is onion. It all comes back to onion. Like a bunch of grenades. Okay. The outside of his body is really hard. TNT explosion on Obsidian. He can make himself explode. Or throw them when the enemy gets too close. To plant a piranha plant. Oh my god. It gets too convoluted. I've got it. I have the solution. A little hand comes out with a gun. It's all solved now. We figured it out, boys. Chomper PVZ? What's that? What if the head comes off completely? And it just starts climbing around. And his top half is just a little creeper guy that comes out. It's a piranha plant from Plant vs. Zombie. Something. We're so close. We're so close. This is where the magic is made. I don't know why I'm doing circles here. I'm doing it though. This will become an RC car. Go gadget helicopter. A drone? Oh. The first ever drone character? I guess, okay, I really want to tie in the shovel though. What does the shovel do? The shovel digs. Why is he digging? I think of tombstones. Like he's shooting out tombstones or birds, crows, creepy crawlies, bugs, worms. It's an agent and a farmer, maybe? I think his job is cover up. His job is cover up. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I picture. Like his job is to make things disappear. Right? That's why he's got a shovel. He's got to bury the bodies. He's like the Men in Black, except he is not human. Also, like I like this. This visual is perfect. I'm set on everything right here, but the last ingredient is the most important one in this case. What does the lifting of the head do? Would it be cool if the shovel has a secret ability? Yes, but it has to coincide with his actual ability of whatever this is. A necromancer using dead people against the enemy, but he has to bury them. A gravedigger, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. I'm down for the shovel having an ability, but I think that ability has to like sync up with what's coming out of his head. And then it's chef's kiss. We can do this. We can do this, friends. We are close. I know we are. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm just doing it. Something feels... Why is it... What? Could he be doing it to himself? What if he's eating the dirt? Yeah, what if he's consuming this? Like he's shoveling in the air and then he runs by and he eats it. But why? Oh my. What if he's running by? Imagine the gnarliness of this. He runs by and he shovels enemies and then he eats them. Think of the visual on that. You know what I mean? But I think we're close, but I don't want it to be eating the enemies. But it would be very funny. You see a bunch of limbs just like sticking out of his body and stuff. Ah. That's just too plain. It's funny, it's cool, but I think too plain. I like the idea of the shovel, though, doing something and then him chomping it. You know? Like the cycle of something. The shovel tossing something up and him consuming it. And it does something. Then we can give power to the shovel somehow. Piggyback on Necromancer idea, he could get souls out of the ground. Oh, that's kind of cool. If we... Okay, let's just say he's consuming something and the shovel is involved. What could the buff be? And don't just say he's faster or stronger or takes less damage. Like, I want a visually impactful change. Maybe he shovels rocks and spits them out like cannons. Not a gun, but still a gun. But a cool gun. That's a cool gun. We might have something there. Hold up. Wait a minute. So how about the seeds come out? He hits them away with the shovel. And those go into tentacles. That might be a lot to animate. You know what I mean? Like, imagine there's a bunch of tentacles, and then what do you do with them when you're done using them? Do they go back in the ground? You're onto something though. You're onto something though. Think about how cool his side profile could look too. Someone who's like way better at animating than me. It's like this. Right? And his like mouth is like opening like super agape for something. Spits material into the air and then hits the shovel to auto aim at the enemy, like baseball. We're so close, man. It's shovel and consumption for a result. What is he shoveling? And I don't think it can just be just dirt, because then that assumes that he has dirt available to dig. He may not always have dirt available to dig. But what if this shovel does something on impact? And then he consumes that. He hits the people with the shovel. He opens his head up. And it like vacuums that product into his head. But then what does he do with it? Like, I'm totally down with that concept. We could get the tie involved there or include something else. I do know Kirby. It's hard, but we're close. Craft something in his mouth. What would he spit out? You're onto something, OP. You're onto something. What if we go back to our other character, Jay, where when he hits targets, gears pop out. And those gears get absorbed into his cannons, and then he gets a big shot from the cannons. Could we do something like that? Something comes out of the characters when he lands hits with the special shovel, and he absorbs those things. Now, when Jay absorbs those things, he gets a big shot out of his massive back cannon. What if he absorbs these, and what happens to him? What does he get out of absorbing it? What can he spit back out? He can barf out humans like Kirby? Like Kirby? Yes. But I don't want to do a Kirby vacuum. We're close. We're close. I don't know if I want the Medusa aspect. I'll link you the playlist. You right at 100? Projectile or something else. I think if it's a projectile, it works. Virus idea. What if it's something that controls this thing? Maybe like he could. But what does a virus look like? Again, think visual. If it is a virus, what does a virus look like? You know? If a virus controls him, does it look like these little bugs that come out? Like, what does a virus look like? I already have mites that chase people down and explode, though. Be very similar to that already. Yeah, our onionlings. Little bugs are gonna be annoying, for sure. I do like the concept, though, of this being a special shovel that when he hits people, dirt or something comes out, and he opens his head and he vacuums that resource. And then we get something out of it. And then we can use that something. And that's sick. I just need to know what that something is. I'm already sold to that. Like, I'm already sold to that. The shovel, whenever the shovel is making impacts on the target, chunks of dirt is going to come off. Because it's a shovel. But this isn't just dirt, this is magic dirt. And this magic dirt grants us something. And this something is gonna make the whole character. What is it? Crafting table, and you can craft anything, rocks and dirt and stuff. I would skip a crafting table, just go straight to making the thing. Like the thing gets spit back out. But what would it be? If we can answer what that is, we've won. Impacts with the shovel spawn special dirt that he absorbs in through his mouth, through the split of his head. But what does it do? Does he have a secondary something? For the soul-absorbed idea, the buff could allow him extra life, instantly rebuilding him upon possible death. Not only this, but it's harder to kill him the same way. Doomsday from DC. That is cool, but things like that aren't super visual. If you look at it in combat, like a combat sense of a stick fight, a lot of the times our stick figures seem relatively impervious to damage when it comes to our main hero, typically. You know what I mean? It's hard to represent just being stronger or harder to kill in a powerful, clear way. Dirt put to shovel. Shovel impale. Dirt release virus while impaled. We did just do an infectious virus character right before this. Maybe he can upgrade his shovel to a gold shovel or something? That's not a terrible idea. A shovel upgrade? Turn into an axe? I think that I would just carry an axe then. You know what I mean? If the shovel's upgrade is that it turns into a normal weapon, Agent Smith should just have a normal weapon. You know what I mean? If the upgrade is it just becomes something that he could have taken from the start, I would just take that thing from the start. Multiple of them grab opponents like those black gooey balls in Incredibles. Multiples of who's them? I'm trying to picture it. Oh, we're so close, man. We're so close. What a multiple shovels look like. Not necessary. It's a thought experiment. Oh, this character is so cool. This last part just has to be right, man. This is the difference. This is the difference. It's right here. We're right here. We're so close. The last piece. The tentacles? The tentacles I drew earlier? A shield? Craft character? Cool, but not. Something of the soul idea that I had earlier for the tentacles was him being highly technological swamp agent. It's close. Bouncy ball comes out of his mouth and then explodes into a splat. Pile of dirt that's always on the shovel. He could bury you, or at least try to. Ooh, maybe you're onto something. Does he vomit the dirt into like a slurry? And he's just like refilling his coffers every time? Kind of funny. I think more gross than anything. He spews mud and makes it hard to fight. Maybe. I think we're on the right track. I like that it's like crowd control type stuff, you know? So close, dude. So close, man. He splits worms because soil. I'm scraping the barrel here. Probably because I'm tired. Shovels a giant spoon all along. He can use the shovel as CIA weapons. I don't know what that means. Gun. We're back to gun again. All roads lead to gun. Buries you in dirt and the worms eat you when you're stuck. I'm thinking of something now that's like overwhelming, swarming. I'm trying to see how I can, in my mind, have him, like, puke this stuff out. The stuff that comes out, the same thing termites use to build their mound? Maybe. You can transform the shovel into a gun. Gotcha. Highly explosive mud that ignites with the shovel. Oh, okay. We're getting somewhere. What if he's cooking the dirt and it comes out like hot magma? Like he shoots it out and it's like hard. It's like coal, like fiery hot coal. Yeah, the leave no evidence motif. He's like an incinerator. And the dirt that's coming off of him is like the fuel. So it ends up being like blackened red hot coals. He's like a furnace. I mean, that'd be the perfect agent, the perfect cover-up agent, would it not? That's the perfect cover-up agent. How would I illustrate that? I don't want... Sorry. I was locked in for a second there. But I like it. I need to deselect these things real quick. I just want these now. Oh, come on. I'm still selecting that? No. There we go. Glow? I think I could get away with the double glow. Check this out. Glow, and then glow again. But this time make it white. Crank the strength. And then one more glow. Crank it yellow. Hear me out. Just give me a second. Oh, that's so easy. That's so great. Because that's so easy to pull off. Now, what happens if I just do this? Bro. Look at that. Yes, and then he spits it out as a projectile. That's it going in one side, out the other. Tell me that's not sick. Super easy to animate. And I can even... Oh my god. I can even make it look... like whenever he does this, I can even do... Watch this. Look at that. He shoots it out, and I have like steam and smoke come out, and then it's got the magma rocks, and they can hit the targets. They can pierce the targets. they could land on the targets and they could have them burn and they're like freaking out from it because it's physically on them. That's sick. And then he's the ultimate legitimate cover-up agent because he gets rid of the evidence. How many layers do you typically work with in animating? The most I've worked with is like 4, hundreds, thousands. Back in the day, I would care about labeling them and being careful, especially when I'm doing this. When I just need a still, I literally could not care less where they are, where they're at all. It does not matter as long as they're in the order that I want them in. When I'm working on a larger project, I'll try and be a little more organized. But if I'm only working by myself, I don't mind the disorganization because I can always just click my way into whatever I need. Like if I need these rocks, oh, there they are. If I only want to work on these, I'll lock everything now and just boom, done. It took me 2 seconds to find that layer. You know, not even 2 seconds. If I'm working with other people, it'll be more organized and more labeled and more like, you know, everything will be where it needs to be. And I'll consolidate and things like that. But when it comes to something that you're working on, if you're making something, and even if it's a couple minutes long, most modern computers have no problem dealing with it. Unless you're doing something that's like very graphic heavy with a ton of textures, and with those textures, a ton of blends on top of that with a bunch of different tweening graphics and stuff like that, then it gets really heavy and bogged down. But other than that, with the stuff that I'm creating, when it's mostly just vector, you know, just me drawing brush strokes and stuff like that and frames, it's completely lightweight. You don't have to be afraid of using multiple different layers. Here, I'll give you an example. Watch this. You don't have to be afraid of the layers, for sure. Let me show you. It's opening. So look at this part here. There's easier ways to do this. This is the way I wanted to do it. This is the part in Koa where he's spawning a bunch of rings. Spawned 50 rings, actually. And if you look at the timeline up here, it is 50 individually animated rings. 50 individually animated rings. Now, if you're trying to fit that into 4 layers and then manually moving, if you're on this frame right here, and then you go 1 frame forward and do all of these rings and have to keep track of all the onion skin for all the rings all at once, because you're only moving on 4 at a time, your brain's gonna melt. But all I was worrying about was animating 1 ring at a time, creating a new layer. 1 ring at a time, creating a new layer. And it's just the basic, you know, ball bounce arc animation, 1 at a time. You know? You don't have to be afraid of layers. You're not hurting anything. The ultimate cover up. Informative as usual and reassuring. Good. I'm glad. Yeah, ask me questions, guys. If you guys have animation questions, I'm here to help. I can't promise I have all the answers, and I can't even promise that the way I'm doing it is going to be the right way, but I can tell you, as someone that's been doing this at least on and off for 20 years, I can tell you how I do it. I use Pivot Animator. It'll be a nightmare to even replicate that, considering it's basically animating everything on 1 layer. Yeah, that is a nightmare. That is a nightmare. Hits with the cover-up shovel. Shovel. Output dirt. Agent Smith opens up his head to consume the dirt. During combat, like a vacuum. Vacuum 2Cs? Yeah, Larry's your best friends. Yeah, it's 1C. Once consumed, the dirt can then be shot back out as a molten hot projectile at great speeds. I haven't read anything yet, and it's 1 in the morning. This could be bad. Agent Smith opens up his head, consume that dirt during combat like a vacuum. Once consumed, the dirt can then be shot back out as a molten hot projectile that at great speeds. That is a cool character. Melee, ranged, depth, and a delicious silhouette. All you have to do is take the top part of his head off, crank it up a few feet, inches, I don't know what this is, a stick figure, and put a shovel in his hand. And he's looking pretty damn clean. Oops, that tints everything. That's alright. He is done, sir. Agent Smith is complete. He was worth it. See what I mean? It is difficult. This is not, at least it's not easy to me. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't know. It's not easy to me. But, sticking with it, no pun intended, it's everything. It literally is the difference. I love him so much, and I'm more than happy to add him to the universe. He is now spawned in. Just like that. Boom, he lives. Agent Smith is real. Now, the real question. You know what it is. Agent Smith. Team Nep or Team Ultra Savior? The poll has begun. FBI! And I'm gonna go ahead and put him up in the mountain. Neptune. I mean, a cover-up agent doesn't cover up good things, right? He's not covering up good things. You know what I mean? A good guy doesn't go covering up things that are occurring that people might not want to be known. Dude, this character's so cool. And the secondary motion with the tie, his head opening up is gonna be so sick. Just imagine in combat, he's like, his head is normal, and then he's hitting, and these dirt particles are flying up in the air. and then he opens up, and then they just like aimbot into his head, and then his head shuts again. And he does that a few different times, and then all of a sudden maybe he like bears down and then like just throws his hands back and shoots a molten rock at you. If he's a good agent, why is it cover it up? He's not covering up his actions. He's covering up other people's actions. He's sent in to clean it up or to finish it. That's what a cover-up guy does, you know? Doesn't mean it's necessarily his mission. His mission is he's got to clean it up. He's got to make sure there's no evidence left. And you could absolutely play with that concept too. Like, I think if there's definitely not a world where you couldn't have him gobble up enemies as well. But the core mechanic is the only thing that matters. Everything else beyond that is just creativity. If you have a part in his combat where he runs through a whole chunk of people with his head open, and they all get stuck in his mouth, and he tries to cram them down, and they're like burning and squirming or whatever, you could do that. If he has a furnace in his core of his body, you could do that. But that's separate. That is being creative with the character. It isn't the core mechanic. And the core mechanic is this cover-up shovel. When he makes impact, special property dirt flies out, he can absorb and turn into molten material that he can shoot at great speeds. That is a cool character. I like it very much. What do you guys think? I think he came out really cool. And this effect, so easy. It is literally just black dots, and I can have this preset saved, which I'm going to do now. Save as Molten. Molten Smith. All I have to do is just apply that to black particles, even if I animate them frame by frame. Done. Dunskies, new Brunskies. And then I'll add like a smoke effect behind it for effect. That is it. Agent Smith, 100% Neptune. Let's go. Neptune gets another one. And that was number 88 on the Pokedex. 43. Up next is Kami Pyro tomorrow, because I'm going to bed. Look at what we made today, boys and girls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 characters today. Not my pace of 10 per day, I'll tell you that much. But I love every single one of these with a passion. Each one of these is incredible. It would be an absolute joy to animate. Strong day. Strong week. Where did this week start with? I don't even know. Somewhere up here, maybe? I think this week started with Lucid. I think this is where we started. I think all of this is this week. All of these guys plus Lucid, I think. That's wild. And we're so close to having the season 1 lineup done. And then I can get to animating them, and they're going to be so much fun. We almost got to 90 today. Exciting. Yeah. All right, friends. It's bedtime night for me. It's 1 in the morning. I will be live again tomorrow. We'll be making more characters. Seeing if we... I really want to... I'm going to get to the 100, but I really want to get to the full 115. Just do everybody. You know, just get it done if I can. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night wherever you are in the world. And I love you. I'll see you next time.